Hey everybody, it's Free-to-Play Bust kicking off expedition number 165. Let's see what happens. It's interesting again, not super interested in enlightenment karma. It she can be reasonable if you take it second. That's kind of how I have to call out a lot of these card pools. With karma, I don't want to start with karma because she needs a champion that can build around. She's really just a support, complementary kind of champion. And if we don't find a build around champion in the second pack, then we're just gonna fall flat in our draft. Oh, hang on, Kitty's making noises. We're about to catch a friend here. Then with this Taric, it is okay. I do believe I want to take the Taric here just to give a shot to the new cards. Really pretty low on Resplendent Stellacorn, but Tayari the Traveler is pretty reasonable. If we were just gonna, go out of our way to try to win 7 here, I would probably take the Quinn. I think the scouted out card pool is still pretty good. It does fall like trying to think of how to word it. It's just like kind of the problem in the current format is just like slamming units into our opponent's board isn't very good. So if we're looking at say like the Demacian Steel half of the kind of cards to where we're trying to play like the big Vanguard units that don't have overwhelm and they just get blocked over and over again. It's just not a successful strategy in this format, but at least with the scouts you can attack twice in the same turn. So if your opponent blocks with their 1/2 invoke unit, then you still get an additional attack in, and you can continue on that way. It's just so bad if you're attacking with say like Vanguard Cavalry, the 5/5 tough for 5, and your opponent just blocks it with the 1/2 invoke. And so long story short, I'm okay with scouted out, but here we're going to be taking this Taric. Let me get this pulled up on the site real quick. If you're not familiar, it's ftpbus.com. We've got all of the cards that'll show up in the all of the card pools listed out here. So we've got Collective Support Taric. I haven't found much success actually just building around Taric. He seems to be kind of a support champion, but he can be fine. It's nice where cards like Blessing of Targon are just extremely good, and having cards like Blessing of Targon and Zenith Blade that you actually just want to be straight up casting anyways are pretty nice, especially when they start getting doubled up. And so, oh god, cat. And so kind of the big things I like to call out with this pool is it doesn't have like a whole lot going on with it. It does have 2 extremely powerful epics in the Mentor of the Stones and Mountain Sojourners. It does have access to good removal and Sunburst, but then beyond this, it really just has a couple of good 2-drops, right? Tayari is particularly good. Where you at? Mountain Goat is okay, and then Startled Stomper is kind of filler. And so the 2-drops are okay. The only ones we're ever really looking for is, Mountain Goat has some additional value since it can get the gems pushed through Taric. But all in all, there's not like a whole lot else going on here. It has a touch of this like healing theme that is just garbage. It's not filled out in this as the set stands, and so like things like Guiding Touch are just not what we're really looking to do. And so it does have a bit of dead cards in it. We're going to have to look for a champion that is also combat centric, and then we can take it from there and see how it goes. Let's see, we're jumping in on Taric. Interesting. I was thinking in my head I'd be kind of interested in pairing it with like with a Darius, but with the choices we have here, I'm not super interested in picking up Yasuo. I just don't think this Yasuo was ever worth building around. We kind of need a build around champion here. It's just we've kind of done this with Leona, and with Leona it just kind of turned into like a deck where it's just like we just want all Leona cards. The stun theme is just not good enough as it stands. Then over here, there is an argument to just pick up a Black Mist Nocturne. This is an extremely powerful card pool, but it is kind of awkward not actually starting with any Mist Wraiths when you're doing this. The Black Mist is the actual Mist Wraith card pool. But what we're going to be taking here, and what I hope we can have some success with, is this Arachnophilia Draven. The cards it's starting with here aren't particularly good, but this does have a lot of aggressive cards that we should be able to chase down and try to get into a lot of combats with and see what we can pull off. You know, just even looking at this curve of Taric plus Draven, he doesn't really need the health since he has quick attack, but it does then allow him to block, is kind of the big thing I have. The big problem I have with these support-based decks is they just can't block anything because the units are too small. Like, Tayari's never blocking, but, you know, if we make a 3/5 Draven, he can probably block something. So to pull up this card pool, I'm not 100% sure if all the cool stuff I want lives here. Kato lives here. That's the support unit I was hoping that did. So Kato's fine. This does have a lot of good early game units in the Precious Pet and House Spider. This tends to just be kind of a go wide deck where you just try to flood the board with units, which we should be able to hopefully pull off pretty well. I'm trying to think, we probably want to pair this with a third faction, but we'll just have to see what shows up. I can't think off the top of my head what like third faction I would actually want in here. Probably Ionia, but we'll just have to kind of see how that goes. But for the most part, we're not going to be following this spider theme, although we do want precious pets and house spiders. We tend to just want to be flooding the board and then taking advantage of things like Arena Battlecaster and Crowd Favorite. And so I think this should be okay. Our deck is kind of like weak at the start here. Resplendent Stellacorn and Blade's Edge are both cards that we don't want. But, you know, sometimes there's just no two ways around that. So I think, you know, the plan being is that we're just going to try to be as aggressive as possible. And we're going to try to build with... I may kind of change my mind and just actually try to get the 4 Tarics in here. We'll have to see if any cards will show up to kind of support this theme. I don't want to really just be building around Draven, but we'll see how this goes. But nonetheless, we're going to take this the 1-drop with the Sunburst. Noxus doesn't have a whole lot of good removal, and so I'm kind of cool with just getting this out of the way from the start. And then the Solari Soldier is the best out of these 5 cards. Even without the Sunburst theme, he's just an all-star unit. He just has a huge amount of stats. Okay, and the big thing I do think we'll be looking for here are Iron Ballistas. You know, kind of like how we talked about Draven being a great target for Tari the Traveler. Same with Iron Ballista. Just making a 4/5 on turn 3 is just a pretty big deal. And the rest of these cards suck. There's no two ways around that. Transfusion is good. Death's Hand is pretty mediocre to bad. Crimson Awakener is pretty mediocre to bad. And both of these Targon cards are just bad. And so the Iron Ballista is easily the best of the 6. And this would be like the 3rd best out of the 6th. And so that's pretty reasonable set of cards to take. Oh man, all the Tyaris. And we see, this is tough. We have to take the Tyaris here because we don't have Ionia, and this is the only 2-cost support that we'll be finding. But it's just like my initial impression ages ago was just like packs exactly like this. The Legion Rearguard Iron Ballista be so good with Tayari, and so I hope we have more of these Scrapheapy kind of packs show up because I really do want to get a big stack of 1-drops in here. But Tayari's the current build around that we're looking for now. We don't really need to go out of our way to get any more of these, but you know, when we have one with the Sunburst, I think we're okay to do it. This is our last chance to pick up Ionia cards. If we want to try to find like Young Witches, these are just so bad in this theme that we're trying to pull off. But I mean, kind of like to a different point though, is that Noxus doesn't have, well, Noxus does have combat tricks. We can play Mites on Taric. It's kind of an interesting card as well. But I just think if we just want to just go ahead and give up on Discipline, since there's not a whole lot of combat tricks within Noxus. You can't draft Elixir of Might and Expedition. So that's kind of tough. I think we'll just take this Tayari and the removal spell. Alright, so now the thing we're going to be kind of looking for is 1-drops, 3-drops, and interactive spells, things like Pale Cascade. We would like to have Might. We would like to have Zenith Blades. Certainly want to find some of that +3/+3 card, and then I think we can kind of focus on Taric. And so Behold the Infinite is okay here. We can use this as kind of like filler for our top end that I don't plan on drafting, and Solari Soldier just a great 1-drop. The 1-drops being the thing that we're really looking for now. Okay. Well, no 1-drops. Legion Drummer is pretty good here. He plays better, or she plays better in the in other kind of like support heavy decks. I've been interested in having like Lulu decks with Legion Drummer. I just haven't seen it ever come together. But nonetheless, she has a great 2-cost support. She fills in great with this theme of 1-drops and Iron Ballistas that we're trying to assemble. So we're pretty happy to pick this up. These Blaze Edges are pretty weak. These Stellacorns are pretty weak. These are pretty good cards. And Arena Battlecaster kind of fills in as our top end. This isn't a 2-drop. This is like a 6-drop. Okay. Interesting. I think... Excuse me, I have to continue on with these 2s. This is kind of an awkward spot because like the first Zenith Blade is bad, but the second one gets so much better. And it's one of these cards we're looking to pair off with Taric. I think we just have to go ahead and take the Zenith Blade. The Shield Bearer is the best out of these units. But I kind of want the Sentry, but I think we just have to go for the Shield Bearer Zenith Blade. If we're going to build around Taric, we have to actually get some of these Taric build around cards. Wish we could take advantage of this. The cards just don't exist to draw cards off of this. So I think, though, do we want to just pick up our 5th Tayari? I think we do. It's just so pivotal to our early game and what we're trying to do. We just got to we got to find more 1s and 3s. Or just an expensive dude and a 6th Tayari. I mean, okay, we're there. Like, I think we'll get good use out of that. Oh, and a Mountain Oh, shit, damn it. I saw Mountain and thought it was Mountain Sojourners, and I got real excited. And that's just not what we had here. So here I'm going to take the Blessing and the Crescent Guardian. Crescent Guardian kind of fills in as an Iron Ballista as well. They do extremely similar things with what we're trying to do with this deck. This is our first Blessing at Targon, which we want to be kind of the extent of our top end. It's just kind of exactly what we're looking for in this spot. Okay, well here we have enough Tyaris. I would love to have more Shield Bearers, but we can skip on this Tayari. I don't think we'll ever be beholding Celestial cards. We just have the one Invoke, so this is a pretty easy Zenith Blade and Stomper. Okay, alright, well, I think we want the interaction here. Just another Legion Drummer is fine. Good removal spell. Help us protect our Legion Drummers and our Tyaris. Pretty useful pickup. I would love to pick up like 1 or 2 Pale Cascades. The card draw is pretty great with Taric, but we're like a touch light on removal, and so I think I want to snatch this one up. Here we can't take advantage of Morning Light. I think we just want to get this Blade's Edge out of our deck. I really only like Blade's Edge if we're playing with like plunder effects. So it's like it has multiple uses. It's like, you know, killing a unit or activating a Gangplank or activating a like Black Market Merchant. Just having this just as a like bad removal spell is just too bad. You have to have combos with it for it to be a useful card. Okay, well, we got all the 2-drops. That's fun. I wish we had some of those 2-drops were the 5/1 Challenger, but can't have it all the time. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if we can get there with trade picks. This is a pretty mediocre to bad deck as it is, but if we get some good trades to where we can like pick up a Might, we can pick up some more 1-drops, trade out some of these 2-drops and some of these mediocre cards, I think we'll be okay. It's a good base of a deck. It's just not quite good enough to go far. Okay, well, we can't just quite mulligan for 1-drops is the awkward thing. And this is what I think is going to be the big problem with our deck, is we can't get support attacks until the 4th turn, since we're on the even attacks. So I think I'm going to just get rid of 2 of these and look for cheaper units. And then I'll start off with the Legion Drummer. We really want to just be attacking here.
We march as one,
this at least gets more favorable combats than our other choices.
Still see far and clear.
To victory!
Ready for
Like
torches.
the last unit we want to see played here.
Explosives primed.
Okay.
I have the best job.
I'm curious if we can probably block here.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
It's tough for the Saboteur to have a combat trick that kills Draven. Like if he wanted to spend a might on the Saboteur, I would have been okay with that.
Face me.
He's clearly just taking it down here, which is fine. Wish we had some of those celestial cards that would let us
Raise your weapons,
cycle away these spinning axes for additional units, whatever that 1-cost card is.
I'll become who I was always meant to
Isn't
be.
super ideal, but Tayari at least trades with some of the stuff.
No time to rest.
Going big on this soldier. He's gonna have to put in work this game. He has a brutal steel. It's fine.
Timing is everything.
No, please.
I keep
Sure.
step with the heartbeat of Noxus.
All the Tayaris.
Carve a path.
Awkward. Like, I think we should be fine though. We can
My
play
journey
Tayari. We
begins
can eat this
here
Fob
and
hit, and then
ends
we
at
can
the
just
top.
play Blessing at Targon. Makes
Leave
the rest of
nothing
his
standing.
attacks not particularly good. I do think he still has a brittle steel in his hand, but I think he's just going to bounce off of this combat as opposed to winning it. Just one of my
Show them the might of
typical
Noxus.
problems with cards like brittle steel. Gonna take 3 damage anyways. If he plays a combat trick to win a combat, we probably want him to be saving the Legion Drummer. So I think he would probably prefer to take down Tayari. Right, sure. Good. It came down as expected with the might. It has been much better for him if he was able to might the quick attack unit, so he would still have a blocker here.
Beauty and life.
Let's see if we can get this Taric going.
For the Empire.
It's a bit too awkward. Okay.
Cut him down.
Okay, I'm good to just take another 5 hit.
No mercy for heretics.
This is a touch painful not having additional units. We really need to draw a unit next turn. Let's just do this. We're gonna have to
Starting
sunburst
your
whatever he
plan,
plays.
Tiarc. It's about
Probably don't
time.
need to silence
I'll
whatever
see
he
you at
plays,
the
but
top.
Witness true strength.
he's gonna try to
Here to
stun
watch
card
the
me.
bloodshed, sir. Here to win the war, soldier. Stand to.
Okay. Let's see if this is enough to at least bring us a little bit back in this game. Not the most ideal of positions that we're in here.
Tremble before the winter's claw.
Sure.
I won't stop now.
Unyielding.
Come face me.
Okay, that's not horrible.
So close.
Come, Guardian.
Trespassers will be vanquished.
A fine new
He said,
scar.
"Come, Guardian." Oh shit.
Few
Wonder
earn
if
the
there's
right
someone
to
at
call
Riot that got
themselves
a little chuckle out of that one. Here, way to turn for the Zenith Blade. This is fine. We should get a good whirling death on something in here. He's just gonna keep passing. We're pretty okay with that as well.
The gate closes.
Okay, I mean, if he's got a combat trick, we have this whirling death back up. But this seems like a real spewy attack.
I wasn't strong enough.
Target or support allies. I'm trying to think at what point we're going to try to use this spinning axe. I don't think it's right here, but sure. Good chance that was a one
No one's the wiser.
one of these stupid things, an enraged yeti. But sure. Interesting. Can we just kill him here? We're looking at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21 damage. Okay, we can probably just kill him. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to assume he's just going to play some kind of like 6/6 unit here. We'll stun it with decisive maneuvers, and then we'll just get a bunch of stun damage in. It's kind of awkward seeing him not
Dazzling. Never submit.
play anything. I mean, I guess he could have picked
I
up
am the protector of the
like a harsh
mountain.
winds or something that would be awkward, but it's greedy. Would we rather whirling death this and save the decisive maneuvers? I think we'd rather have the whirling death for next turn. I think it's. Well, I guess I shouldn't say it's a little better at keeping us from dying. This is just removing the unit from combat's a little stronger
These
than
gems aren't just for show.
potentially killing the unit as far as preventing yourself from dying goes. But the +2 attack is a lot better when you're on the attack side of things. Okay, so let's see. I'm really just interested in building around Taric here, so I think this is who we want to be taking. Not super interested in building around Draven or Leona, so let's just continue on with this Taric build around and see if we can't kind of shore up the holes where we called out. Just kind of needing to find find units that aren't 2-drops are essentially all that we need to do. Go away, ads. I don't want to have to not use LOR Guardian. Okay, really, Chainsaw Heimerdinger. Get rid of the Battlecaster. I'm tempted to discard a Solari Soldier, but these like fit in our curve so well. We also need to find a Tyari.
Ours is the one
Right,
true
because
light.
if you remember what our curve looked like, we had like an actual 100 2-drops in our deck. And so having the 1-drop in us lets us play a 1-on-1, a 2-on-2, and then a 1 and a 2-on-3. Just a big aggro draw. Don't really want to be playing like Zenith Blade on 3.
Observe and learn.
My faith protects me.
Okay. I think we do want the
One
permanent
foot in
bonus
front of
here.
the
There's a
other.
good chance he's just like not blocking something.
I can do this.
Punish transgressions.
I think it's been forever since I've read the article. This is what reminds me of this, but there was a Magic article forever ago. I'd have no idea who even wrote it, but it was kind of the idea that there was like this horrific like 1-cost card in whatever like Magic Limited format was happening at the time, and like the dude was just getting like so much value out of the bad card. We can do this safely. We can now interact with this. The only combat trick that they should have is the plus health one. But no, like the kind of the idea that the dude had was that he was getting so much value out of this like 1-cost card because like yes it was bad, but like his opponents like psychologically just felt horrible about trying to interact with this like bad card.
I keep step
And so
with the heartbeat of Noxus.
it's like I'm kind of curious if that's what happens with this play here, whereas like I think this guy should probably be taking this trade with the Investigator onto Solari Soldier, just like an incredibly high percentage of the time. But to just see those cards just roll through like that kind of reminded me of that quality problem from forever ago. Here, I think we have to be playing Zenith Blade. I think we want to boost up our Legion Drummer, and then we can also add Tyari. Like maybe we want to just be attacking with Legion Drummer and Shield Bearer, but not 100% sure. Dude seems real upset with the way the game's going. Sure. Okay, these attacks don't seem
Show
great
them the
anymore.
might of Noxus.
Wants to take the trade, we'll take it. Okay, and then we got him to 8. I think we're building towards a big overwhelm turn next turn. Or on our next attack, we should say. Sunburst can change things. Let's see what he adds. There's a lot of units he can have that just don't interact favorably with what we're doing. Okay. Alright, let's get this out of here. Right, because the Piltover cards just like aren't meant for combat. So it's a good chance that we can just get wider than him next turn.
The guilty will burn.
This seems like a real spewy attack. Something's not right with this. Was that like a suit up that
We march as one.
he's trying to get
an
value from?
unstoppable force.
Strange. Anyways, I think that we can just get wider than him here. If he wants to be playing suit up on the block, we're pretty okay with that. That's what we want to do. We want to play
Raise your
Solari
weapon,
Soldier, we want to
Sunwood.
play Crescent Guardian, and we want to play Zenith Blade. Just kind of maximize our overwhelms here.
velocities.
So how does this attack go? We're hitting with Legion Drummer into Crescent Guardian. Then it comes down, do we want to just add Tayari, or do we want to actually play Zenith Blade? Because we can't overwhelm through at this point. I guess the question comes down to is like, if we play Tayari, can we protect our Legion Drummer? Which we can for the most
I
part.
was always meant to be.
But it's tough for him to get into a good combat with Tayari here.
I won't stop now.
Remember why we fight!
Yep.
Beg your pardon?
Oh dear!
Dear.
Keep formation!
Warriors, end.
Okay. The next turn could be kind of scary. This is where he can, recover reasonably easily. I was like, does it do 2 damage? Just get this shit over with. But that's not how he floods the board here.
Oh, that's my favorite too.
This is where you gotta pop off like 3 or 4 flash of brilliances.
It has no reprieve. Finding planets to retrieve.
I think we'd probably just prefer to go wide. Like he's either gonna have to be putting his units in front of something, right? Want it to look like
No
this again.
time to rest.
As foretold.
Okay. Don't think there's a way out of 6 damage. Sure. Okay. Ready. Good game, friend. See, these aren't 1-drops. So I'm interested in the Reckoner here. We haven't picked up a whole lot of top end, and this is the kind of top end I like here. So one of the things I was like kind of thinking in that previous game was kind of just like, how do we actually close this out? And the Reckoner does that. The Arbiter does that. This is kind of in this style of deck, these are pretty good pieces of top end. As far as these other ones go, we don't want any more Sunbursts. 2 is enough. Pale Cascade is a card that we'd be kind of okay with, but it's not something we need to go out of our way to find. Like, I would be okay with this Cascade for Battlecaster trade, especially since we plan on building up to 3 Tarics, but I think the Reckoner is more important to pick up here. Just a way to finish these games, especially when we already have 1,000 2-drops. I mean, we have 6 Tyaris, so we can get our 6 Tayari 2 Legion Drummer deck. Like that Stomper doesn't he never feels like the play we want to be making a large percentage of the time. Okay, I think I'm cool to get rid of Zenith Blade. These others are too good to discard.
unyielding
I think
light.
we want to be the aggro here.
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't want to be in these spots to where we just have to play Tyari and pass. I think this works. If we play this, we're guaranteed to have a favorable combat because he just has infinite hit points. And then we can just try to trade it next turn given the option. Pretty cool with that.
Carve a path.
Sure.
Today, base camp. Tomorrow, the summit.
Okay. Certainly take one hit from this.
Taric, are you here to help me?
The journey is yours, but I'll help where I can.
For the Empire.
We're just gonna lose our boy? We don't have to. We can give him 6 health. It opens him up to getting killed by Whirling Death, and then he gets a value block on our Tyari, right? Because the idea that is we can either attack with Taric, Tyari, and then Shield Bearer. Well, I guess if we do put Tyari on, no, because then the Shield Bearer trades with Hopeful.
It's time to shine.
We have to be getting double supports on this turn, though. I think we just want to be
No
protecting
time
our
to
Taric.
rest.
Devotion through battle.
Unyielding.
Hold the line.
Oh boy, he's got a Whirling Death. That's the worst that could happen for us here.
Is that all?
Okay.
For beauty.
This is what worries me about these style decks, is we are so bad at blocking here. This guy can block though. See if he opens. This guy's happy to tango with a Trifarian.
Sharpen the blade, secure
Sure.
the kill.
Kill anything here.
Clad in shining sunlight.
My turn.
You're mine.
Sure. Is this where the might comes in? Like, we have to block everything here, but we have good blocks on this turn. This surprises me.
Face me.
Okay, same thing.
Heretic.
Do we have a Whirling Death? I kind of let this one slip. The idea of this slip past me. With this, and then we have Tyari's for the following turn. I can get behind that. Just get some of these stats on the board. We might be getting hit like face-wise here. Might be playing a Might or something. That seems like a strange place to put a Might. Why wouldn't he Might his Trifarian? I guess he gets in more damage this way. Get him more damage over here. Okay. Works for me.
Whatever the journey brings, I welcome it.
It's a very strange Might. Now, how much do we care about getting these attacks in here? Get a guaranteed like +2 in. Make this cost 5. I think we just want to open.
I can do this.
Blood for Noxus.
We've got the Darius Bane.
Bloodshed, sir. Here to win the war, soldier. Stand to.
Sorry, Darius. The vampire of Noxus. You gotta let Vladimir know what's up with Sunburst.
Set the course.
Boy, is he actually playing Misfortune? Can't play her. Alright, how do we go about blocking this thing? Extra damage. Put Tyari here. this. Then that will let us play an Arbiter for after his initial scout attack, if that's what he's trying to do.
Sing 'em their doom!
No giving up.
Okay, seems fun.
Few reach the peak or beyond.
And I think we're good to just add a whole
I've
bunch of
come
Overwhelm
so
to this board
far.
now.
I only hope
We
that I am
can
worthy.
boost something with Zenith Blade and then play Crescent Guardian. We drew Blessing of Targon though. Okay, we just have to be just attacking now.
Approach.
I won't
We want to
stop now.
protect our good
Burn
one.
away doubt.
Right?
Brace for impact!
Let's see what you can do. Let's get a good look at you.
Uh-oh, playing cards. Sure. Check the eye and it said the game's over. Game friend. Is this right? We just have the one. There's no way this is right. We just have the 1/1 drop in our deck. No way, boys. No way. We wouldn't go through a run with just 1/1 drop. Let's see. So we're taking the Taric. Ooh, there's a Kato. I have maybe a unreasonable love for Kato. I think this is just one of the absolute best cards in the game. I think we're good to take these. I'm not like real stoked about having 3 Sunbursts, but the second Blessing is good, and we do want the third Taric. This is kind of the reason I don't want to be playing a whole big bunch of the physical card Blessing of Targons, because we're going to have 3 Tarics in our deck. But it is what it is. Who's who we're stacking. Sorry, Kato. It's tough. I always feel like whenever I pass Kato, I'm just doing something wrong. I don't feel like we're ultimately like a huge Taric build around, but I don't know. We've really kind of like put the spells in here to make him worthwhile. Okay, I don't think we can keep any of this. I mean, maybe we can hang on to a Taric. This shouldn't be a particularly aggressive deck. He's fine. We should be able to just kind of like grind through with a Taric. Kind of an awkward start. We really want more of these Solari guys at the start of the game. Okay, we'll see what he does here, but as I'm thinking, I think I probably just want to go ahead and add Tayari, and then
I'll become who I was always meant to be.
the idea that I have for next turn is that I'm just going to be opening with Zenith Blade and then playing the Soldier, getting a admittedly non-value attack out of the Soldier, but I want to ensure that we have one of these Zenith Blades in our hand for when we start attacking with Taric, and I think drawing an additional Zenith Blade is just way more important than ever having this +1/+1 for a turn. Good chance he just plays a 3/3 and we're able to attack into it anyways.
Proud warriors of the sun's true light.
Okay,
I can do this.
this is fine even if he has a Flash Freeze or a Brittle Steel or what have you.
This will be a fine story.
Okay.
Snow buries all.
Yeah, we just want to take this 5? I don't think so. If
No
we get the trade, we're pretty happy with it. If he has a physical card flash freeze, we're pretty happy with it. We just don't want him getting like the wider his board gets, the worse it is for our units. That was a pretty good trick for him. I was hoping it was a more expensive one, because you know, if he's only able to have like one unit on the board, then that means, you know, we can get Tyari in, we can get Legion Drummer in. But as soon as his board starts completely filling up, it starts to cause problems. Sure. Okay, I gotta slow our roll a little bit now that we just drew Death's Hand. I think we're good to just do this. We can play Drummer. I'd prefer to have him spend some mana before we try to drop this Death's Hand onto the Stefan. You know, it's real easy for him to survive this with just 1 mana, but this at least can't be hit by a barrier card now. It can really only be the Elixir of Iron that protects this unit. And then we should just be building up to a big attack next turn. If he open hits us for 10, it's kind of unfortunate, but... A card I don't know about? Is there 2 cards? Oh, single combat. Okay. It's good for him.
Protect.
We might be too far behind now. We have a... Like, we could deal with these beefers when it was like, you know, if we were like a little bit ahead on board, and then we can just like Sunburst and follow up with a Battlecaster or something, but like when he starts, say, like adding Sejuani here, it's just too much for us to overcome. It's like we have to 1-for-1 here, we have to Savage Reckoner down one of these things. Just pretty tough for us in this spot. Okay, I think that does what you want.
Today we fight as one.
Okay. So, I mean, it is at least a reasonable Reckoner attack next turn. We can give him quick attack if we want to keep him on board. Okay, do we just want to get everything in now? Probably.
No time to rest.
Come here.
Like, I mean, he's gonna 100% block Hearthguard here, one of these here. But I think, you know, we need to at least start, you know, distributing stats if we can. We do still have some top end here. I mean, we've ground this out pretty well, like much better than I suspected we would. What the fuck? Okay. Why would you do that?
I've trained my whole life for this.
Can't open kill us, right? At worst, he can hit us for 6.
Sharpen dust on ribs.
Well, we have to accept that Usgar is a serious problem here. He's probably gonna hook kill the Reckoner, so I think we want to add this guy. He's gonna hook kill one of our big guys, but at least the other one can still kind of shut down this combat a little bit.
Crack eyes and flesh. This Trollland. Our banner will lead the way.
We will not hesitate.
Okay. I think it's 2.
Crack eyes and flesh.
Oh, that's dangerous. That's dangerous, friend. leaving us with the big boys.
Roland!
Okay. I think we have to behold the infinite. I don't. There's no reason to play it right now. We should just do it next turn.
Trolls survive!
Have we ever seen this blade? Probably not. Not gonna be beholden any celestials this game. Okay, let's at least just play a unit first. I think all we're going to be doing is adding Golden Sister and attacking with the
Watch them run!
what's it called? The elusive?
The skies.
Descend upon them.
As it stands now, he can't make a really great attack next turn, and then we can perhaps get him good with this Blessing at Targon, depending on what he tries to hook kill here. Oh boy, bringing all the pieces together, all the pieces to get this blowout.
My heart and sword for Demacia!
Okay, okay. So we're wide enough at this point. I think we can add Zenith Blade. I don't. Like, we're just. I think we want to protect Golden Sister, right? If it, as it comes down to it, not this one. We want to hit this one. If he puts some kind of hook into it, like we can, number one, we can protect this with decisive maneuvers, and number two, we can play Blessing of Targon on it to get a lethal next turn. I think this is the path to victory here.
Claw strikes.
So we have to add blocker. Do we? Yeah, probably do. I think because we're just going to be stunning whatever is put in front of the Silver Sister.
Yes, run! Crack ice and flesh!
The Winter's Claw.
For our allies.
Why didn't you just gonna let me pick? Okay.
Closes.
You has the most health. Go here.
Is on the line. No giving up.
Like, is it ever too greedy to? I think we have to decisive maneuver this. Like, I really want to just go ahead and play the Blessing of Targon, but we can do that on an open next turn. Oh man, oh buddy.
Someone get him up.
All right, well here's our chance to shine. If he didn't have a frostbite there, I would assume he doesn't have one for next turn. Oh god, there's a card. Okay. All right, let's get him in there.
It is time.
Game. Blouses. Oh shit, we probably had no business winning that game, but it's what it is sometimes, boys. It's what it is. Where the one cost cards at and just dying for some ones. I think moving in the soldier is what we have to be doing. I think these Solaris are kind of like what we're missing here. I haven't like completely decided how I like these Tayari decks to look, but it may not be like proper to. And I think what the proper curve might be is playing Shield Bearer on 2, Tayari on 3, then like Taric on 4, and not actually getting in a Tayari attack on 2. Nonetheless, I want this 1-drop. Sunblessed Vigor is pretty weak as it is, as far as having spells to cast onto what's his name, Taric. We do have the 2 blessings and the 3 Zenith Blades now. So I don't know what the exact numbers are. We have a Pale Cascade as well, but losing the Sunblessed Vigors is okay. Okay. I remember there's a mini game between every game now where you got to click that little X. I haven't fully reminded myself that I'm playing it. Alright, so let's see how much further we can push this one. It doesn't really feel like a 7-win deck. If things go right, it can do 7, but I kind of had like an idea of how I wanted this to come together. I'll talk about that in the recap, but it's a little short of what my ideal of this deck was going to be. I think, are we cool to just get rid of Tyari? I don't think so. Like, I'm good to run Shield Bearer out on 2. Draven on. Well, we can just pull off this full curve now.
Nothing like the great
Sure.
outdoors.
We don't have
I'll scout ahead.
real ways to interact with Teemo, but it's a long ways away from being something we're actually worried about. So now the real question comes down is like, do we want to play Tyari and boost Draven? I think we do. It's tough for this combo to have units that interact favorably with Tyari next turn, and like at worst, we can discard a Stellacorn to win the Tyari combat with a spinning axe. They don't have a lot of 3 health units here. There are a lot of like 2 health units that were cool to just get a trade with Tyari plus like Draven Axe and make 4/4. That's fine. It's a bold one.
So close.
This is fine. We have a big open on our next attack where we can open and then blessing a Targon something. Taric. Found our something to blessing a Targon on our next attack.
They'll never know what hit them.
Okay. This might be a little like too slow against this style of deck though. He's probably gonna hit us with like a flipped hit next turn, which is okay. Well, it would be okay if he was wasn't playing with this monstrous Teemo. But let's have to see. Do we ever want to add the unit here? Like, what's the worst that happens? He's never blocking with Teemo. And then let's say he adds like a Chump Wump, or then it still just trades with the soldier. Pretty okay with this.
Ours is the one true light.
We need to be getting in like every point of damage that we can and not worrying about value, because we don't have a way to stop this Teemo from hitting.
Dazzling.
Devotion to battle.
Honor the mountain.
Okay.
Never submit.
So we got the big boys getting in there. Weird that he just played nothing. It seems like the just play nothing here is like he has 1 card plus 1 Thermogenic Beam that he wants to play.
Grow free. Success is planting your mushrooms right.
Yeah, I don't think we can win this race now. Like typically the way I talk about Teemo is that you can take 1 flipped hit, that's fine. The second flipped hit almost certainly kills you. But the kind of like big thing going on with that is Teemo is just hitting you with 1 health and not, or for 1 attack at a time and not 5. So I didn't understand. I didn't realize it worked like that. Oh god, oh boy, he's emoting early. You know what that means, boys.
Unyielding light.
We don't want any trouble.
There's
We do
only
have this
one
the
true
Stellacorn that we hate on quite a bit
boy,
to be able to
I'm flying.
hopefully boost through a bit of this damage next turn.
Forward.
We just have to open here. How do we want these attacks to go? Just like the soldier's the awkward one here. I think we need to give him a point of attack and not worry about Taric. We can boost one of these things with Legion Drummer. Maybe we do just go all in on protecting our Taric. I'm pretty okay with that.
To victory.
Unyielding.
What? Why didn't you?
This is a no-fly zone.
Why didn't this get spinning axe?
Times are tough.
Just looking out for the public.
And spoil the surprise?
Wait, why didn't this? Okay. What am I missing here? Copy the last spell you cast on only me this round. I don't understand why spinning axe didn't transfer over. Okay. That's what it is, I guess.
Warriors, and we've been through a lot.
Here comes the punchline.
Sure. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and add another spinning axe here. Does give us a chance to, I don't know, see how this goes wrong, and I think we can survive this next turn without having to play the Stellacorn.
Push on without me.
It's unfortunate Taric can't survive this Vi hit. Quite unsure as to why he doesn't have, why he didn't flip on that attack.
Not you.
Yeah, okay, can't beat that. Oh shit, hang on, did we skip right past it? Oh no, we can play Stellacorn. Maybe he'll do something weird.
Stay hidden.
Okay. Alright. Oh no. It's like, as soon as I clicked it, I was like, oh, we had this plan.
I am the protector of
Okay.
the mountain.
11? Ah, man. It's too bad. This game was certainly not out of reach. I love beating these people after they started to emote.
That's how we do
Got
it.
no class. Damn.
Whatever, man. Not my fault.
Let's see. Here is another Solari soldier. That looks like a reasonable pickup, although there is a Glory Seeker here. That plays, spectacularly with Legion Drummer, but it doesn't do a whole lot with with Tayari or Taric. It's just, maybe we could make it work. It is another way to interact. I just want another 1-drop though. Seems a little bit more important than picking up the Glory Seeker. It's just so hard to get these combats to where it's like if we play a Tyrion and it attacks and trades and gives something a boost, I'm fine with that. But it's hard to shape the combats to where if you're able to challenge one unit to where they won't just get a value block on Tyrion still, right? If we have Tyrion and the Challenger against 2/3/3s, then we're still losing our Tyrion either way. Anyway, so here, I think we just want to keep the shield bearer. Like, we've gotten to the point to where, like, we should probably be like, looking for Taric on, like, number 1, we should be looking for Taric. Number 2, we have 6 of those Tyaris. And so he's not, like, as super important to just be dropping out here.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics.
Okay.
Clad in shining sunlight. Devotion through battle.
Get those damages in. I still don't. I'd like to know why that spinning axe didn't work last game. Things would have been very different if he was unable to hit with that spinning axe unit.
They will not escape punishment.
Or like, right, he blocked our 2 attack unit with his Teemo, which would have killed Teemo. Teemo only had 3 health, and then we would have had that Death's Hand to kill something else. Like, that game would have been completely different. But, like, give me a support. Copy the last spell you cast on only me. So does it not count as being on only him since you discarded a card, or did I just like misclick something and not realize it? I'm not, like, I remember highlighting him and seeing him that he had spinning axe on him. I don't know. I don't know, boys. Sure.
Quickly, before they organize.
Why would you do that ever? I'm gonna play this. There's a good chance he's just passing back and wanted to use his barrier.
I bring clarity.
Not a whole lot of units I care about here. Like, you have to imagine he's gonna play like a Badgered Bear, a Grizzled Ranger, or something, and we just don't really care about any of those. This is fine. Tough will survive through this thing.
Remember why we fight.
That's not quite how we want that to happen.
Show them the might of Noxus.
These don't matter either.
Remember why
Nothing matters as far as Legion Drummer goes here.
Unyielding.
He's getting a good block somewhere. Oh, it does matter. I forgot he's getting the tough.
There.
Yeah.
I pity you.
Whoopsies. Whoopsies, boys. He still would have just put this in front of Legion Drummer, but
This is rather dull.
it was. I didn't think. It was like, he's not giving him any bonuses, and I forgot about passing tough around.
Formation.
Don't have an answer to that. I don't. And hit the stun card. Ugh. We still just have to take this anyways. I don't think we can beat this Challenger Dragon. It's gonna be at
Lost in reflection?
4 health. It's brutal. It's such a big play here. Yep.
On guard!
No mercy for heretics.
Okay. Ugh. Gross.
Protect.
We'll get a unit down in front of this before it attacks again. That's completely fine to have happen there.
I have the best job.
Okay. Need some juice, boys. The removal's just a turn too late. We couldn't have played him last turn anyways, but
Why Watch and learn.
This could be a little greedy. Like if he has a like a riposte or something, then we have a real problem here. But it's just so hard for us to like at this stage of the game. We just have to have things go right. Like what happens if like we Falling Comet, Screeching Dragon, and then he just plays a big unit? Then we've lost at that point.
Time for the moneymakers.
But if we're able to get like a punch of damage in here, then we do start having ways that can go. Then it's a lot easier for him to have just big dude as opposed to having combat trick. But he's got combat trick. Ugh. If it had to be combat trick, I really would have preferred it to have been like a riposte or something. Just simply so that we could
Like fish in water.
like not have him play units behind. Gross. To see him just play Zap afterwards is extremely painful in this spot. But I'll still stand by it. I don't think this is a game we ever win not attacking here. We just have to have things go right. Sure.
He smells something.
Smelled it. So let's get the soldier down. We can try to trade with this Green Fang Warden. Probably not incoming here, but let's see. I don't want to make it immediately known that we just have a giant dude in our hand.
Through the coral.
Ready, boy?
The guilty will burn.
See, like this is the kind of the spot I'm talking about. Well, we needed that attack to go right. Like we can, if he was at 8, we have this big overwhelm. Then we're pretty close to having things be in a winnable spot. Like if we draw, say, a decisive maneuvers here, good chance we just close out the game. But just like passing and not doing anything, it just makes it so hard to actually win the game.
What brings you here?
That's a surprising block. Oh, there's a riposte. Okay, well we still at least trample in for 5, but we're just gonna die to his open. Yeah. It's gonna be the case, friends. Maybe he'll give us a shot if he does the full open. He can't scout attack. We can decisive maneuver. If he just hits with the partial attack, then we have other cards we can play. But that's gonna do it. Done got us. He got us good. So let's see. Let me get this deck list pulled up. I did have some thoughts on this deck. It didn't quite come together how I wanted. It started to a little bit more towards the end, but didn't quite get there. Let me get this visible. So yeah, interesting. I'm not 100% sure on where I stand on like what the correct thing to do is with these support decks. Like the thing that I think is like very clear is that like Solari Soldier and Solari Shield Bearer are just bonkers. Like these are just like so format defining, especially with Targon showing up just like a little bit more now than it should in general. But whether you're on like excuse me, the aggressive side of things or the defensive side of things, like both of these cards are just incredibly too good. And what what supremely worries me about these is like I don't really play a lot of constructed, but I have to assume that these cards aren't like spectacular. Like I assume that these are like reasonable cards in constructed, and like every Leona deck, these have to be just fine. But I can't imagine that these are powerful enough to where they would ever get nerfed. And so I don't suspect a whole lot will come of these in Expedition. What I do think we will see um, is that these won't show up as many card pools, and so that they shouldn't show up as frequently um, in your decks. Like as it stands, like we probably could have picked up like 4 soldiers, 4 shield bearers, and in the future that should realistically just be like 1 or 2 and 1 or 2. Um, but nonetheless, I think that's kind of like thing number 1 here, because what this like I have in my head is how these like Tayari decks should look, especially with Taric in it. Is you have to be like playing the curve. Where I think I'm wrong on this, or at least what I initially thought you should be doing, and where I feel is wrong now, is that you want it to be playing a soldier or whatever 1-drop you have on turn 1. On turn 2, you want to be playing Tayari or Legion Drummer or Young Witch or whoever it is. And then on turn 3, you just continue on the curve, whether or not it's like another support into 1, or it's a 3-cost support like Lulu, or the +2/+2 support guy. And then on turn 4, you're just popping off with a huge attack. But like the big thing in there was that you were getting the support attack in on the second turn. I don't think that's as like ultra important as I initially thought it was. It might be because like Shield Bearer Soldier are just so good, but I think like the thing we're probably trying to push ourselves towards is playing a Shield Bearer on 2, and then on turn 3 playing a Tayari and a 1-drop. And then if we ever end up in one of these spots to where we have a 1-drop on 1, we either don't play it or we don't play it. It's situational. But I think we need to kind of start looking at these 2-cost supports is like not something that we're getting an attack with on the second turn. But I might be wrong in that sense, because also what I think is a big thing, and what I was hoping to pull off with this deck is and with cards like Iron Ballista, that kind of changes like that whole theory there, where if we're able to pull off this curve of Tayari into Iron Ballista, and just generate these monster units. But it's tough for me to decide as well, because it's like, if we're wanting to make this Tayari Iron Ballista play, that's an attack on turn 3, and then we wouldn't be able to attack with Taric until turn 5. And so I can't, I just need more time with these supports to kind of really flesh out what I think is right and what is wrong, and what is the best plan A and what is the best plan B. But I think this might just be like kind of a different deck than what we were actually anticipating. Like, I still feel like this should be a thing, as to where, we're boosting these Iron Ballistas and we're boosting Crescent Guardians with Tayari. I think this just like kind of a little bit slower theme is like what we want to be doing. But then I can't quite decide how we protect this Tayari. Or maybe we just don't. But like if we just don't, then like why don't we just play a like that +2 health combat trick or something, right? If we're actually playing these Tayaris, we either have to be getting support things out of Taric and Lulu, or we have to have things like Arbiter. Otherwise, this is just probably just worse than that combat trick. And so it's tough. It's there's a lot of juggling going on here that I'm not super certain on what is correct. But again, at least the one thing to call out was like this was another one of these decks that we can clearly see is going to be aggressive. We picked up one more Sunburst than I would have liked to have seen. But again, like time and time again, you see these decks at draft. There's this like very strict curve kind of thing that we're looking to put together, as to where there's this cutoff at the 4-drop slot, and above the 4-drop slot, we're having like a very limited set of cards, right? It's usually going to be a removal spell or 2. It's going to be something that can just end the game, like Decisive Maneuvers. Then it's going to just be like epics. We got Arbiter of the Peak and Savage Reckoner in our game-ending epic slot. We did pick up Blessing of Targons because they interact with Taric well. but beyond that, I think the top end of this here looks extremely good. I would like to push some of these 2-drops up into the 1s. I would like to kind of rearrange the 3-drops that we have here. But all in all, I think that panned out kind of okay. It's just, I still haven't quite figured out how to maneuver, getting enough units to have a support deck, what to do on our opponent's turn when our supports aren't very good, and then still trying to manage your curve. There's like a lot going on in this deck building that isn't, immediately apparent at first sight. There's a lot more going on than just, play units and go face with them. But, I think this was an interesting run. I think, we're going to have to wait a few days until next week to see if anything happens to these shield bearers and soldiers. And that will really kind of shape how we think these support decks should look in the future. I think if, there's no card pool changes or no nerfs to the soldier shield bearer, then this is what we're drafting. Even being outside of a Leona deck, I think if we're in Targon, we're just going to take every soldier and every shield bearer that we see, and then either try to continue on the aggression a little bit further up the curve with these things like Crescent Guardian and Iron Ballista, or if these are going to get nerfed, and we can kind of play other early game cards efficiently. But we'll see. We'll see if power creep's a thing or if this can continue on. But I guess the last thing I wanted to call out with what I thought was successful here, these Zenith Blades turned out particularly well. It makes me almost wish we had Piltover in here and we had access to something like Eager Apprentice, just some way to get more spell mana so that we could both play a Zenith Blade and a unit early in the game. But I think these panned out pretty well, giving us a way to just run over top of our opponent with our units. We're pretty good at being defensive with all these Tyaris. These give us the kind of offensive boost we need to close out the game. But nonetheless, that's going to do it for this run. Finished up about how we expected. I thought we might have gotten to 5. I thought like 4 was probably about the limit. I was actually kind of happy we just got beyond 2 with this deck, but that's where it is with this one. But it looks like we got some rewards on the screen here. Let's go ahead and claim them, and then we'll call it a day. Epics out of the Epic Capsule. I keep thinking that Sleep with the Fishes is the same as Chum the Waters. I wish they would have named those cards less ocean theme within them. But oh man, we're all done with the Frey Lord. Moving on to whatever the next one is. Oh, you guys can watch me change region. Okay, and I'm pretty sure the weekly chest is up too. Let's go ahead and grab that one. Look at that, we played more this week. We got a diamond. Oh, we got 2 diamonds. Nice. Okay. Okay, give us some cool stuff, weekly chest. I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know if I should say I'm surprised, but like in Hearthstone, there's things to where you don't open up like dustable cards until you open up all of the cards you don't have. I'm kind of surprised they aren't doing that here. For us, we don't like super care, but if you're, a more casual kind of player, then that can be kind of feels bad when you're trying to get the dust you need to craft the end of your deck, and you crack your weekly vault and you just get a bunch of dust. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that analogy is incorrect. I was just thinking that getting the dust kind of sucks, but I guess if you are wanting to close out your deck, then getting dust is better than random cards. I don't know. No desire to do dust math. You can ask that one on Reddit. But there we have it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the run, learned a little something along the way. If you have some thoughts on the support archetype, drop me a comment down there and let me know how you've had success with it. And that's going to do it for today. This is Free to Play Bust, and we thank you for being here.